Hello, everyone. This is Dr. B coming to you from Steps to the Future with another college conversations. So last week I took a little break from college conversations, but I'm here this week. And this week I want to talk to students and families about some of the ways that they can research colleges during the time of COVID. Now we know the best of all worlds would be to be able to go to campuses and visit, but many campuses are not offering visits. One of the things I will strongly suggest, though, is to go on a college's website and check out whether or not they are doing smaller visits because some colleges are starting to do that. So it is definitely something that you should check out. So I'm just going to slow down here for a minute. I just want to send this out to people to make sure people are logging on. If anybody is watching, uh, please make sure that you share this out also. So let me just see if I can get this going out here. Yep. So we had a little oh my goodness, I'm losing words here. We had a little earthquake here. I did not feel it in my section of North Carolina. Thank goodness. But again, so today's topic is how do you do college research during COVID? As I said, some colleges are allowing smaller visits, more social distance visits on campuses, but that's up to individual campuses. So you really need to check to see what they are doing because again, like I said, it's not the same for every school. So you need to check to see whether or not that's happening. One of the things that we are seeing more of is colleges are offering virtual fairs or virtual tours. So I wanted to talk to you tonight about actually there's about one, two, three, there are actually four different conferences, virtual conferences and fairs that are coming up that I think it would be wise for families and students who are juniors and seniors to sign up for these or to watch the live stream of these. I've been putting them on my website, not on my website, on my Facebook page. Actually, I probably need to put them on my website, but putting them on my Facebook page so that people are aware of these. So I'm hoping that people get an opportunity to do it. So the first one that I want to share with you is one that's coming up starting tomorrow. So this is August 11th through the 13th, and this is the Strive Virtual College Exploration, which is primarily focused on STEM. So that's science, technology, engineering, and math. And there are so many colleges that you'll be able to connect with. Most of the colleges, you'll be connecting with them through Zoom, where you might be able to go into a breakout room and talk to that particular college or see what they have to offer. But again, I really, really strongly recommend that you go on the link that I'm going to put in the show notes and make sure that if you haven't signed up already, that you do so. Even if you're not able to attend the sessions, please sign up because most likely you will be getting a recording, a link to the recording. So that is definitely something you want to do. Um, it's so important to learn as much about schools as you can in this new way that we're doing it. So again, that's one that I want you to think about. Another one that's coming up August 13th, so that is this Thursday. It's the New York State Association for College Admission Counseling. They are doing a college fair. And again, the same thing. You'll be able to interact with different reps from different colleges. And they have quite a listing of colleges on their college fair. So again, when you see the link, go on the link and start signing up, see what's available, see what's out there, see what may be of interest to you, especially juniors and seniors. This does not mean that younger students can't look at it. I mean, you certainly can if you're a freshman or a sophomore and you just want to get a head start, or you're just curious what's out there. What are these colleges telling me? How can I learn more about these colleges in this new world of COVID? So again, that's something I want you to think about. Another one that's coming up. So typically the National Association for College Admission Counseling does college fairs throughout the United States and some internationally. Um, we always have one in Raleigh, there's always one in Charlotte, there's one in my home state of Rhode Island in Providence, in downtown Providence. But we know everything that's in person with large crowds will be canceled this year. So they have canceled all of their fall travel plans. But what they are doing in its place are putting together some virtual college fairs, and they have several dates. So I'm again strongly suggesting that if you need to do some college research, this is the way you need to do it. So NACAC is offering 4 sessions this between now and November. So there's September 13th. And again, I will put all of these links in the show notes so you won't have any excuse. You won't say, oh, I didn't know where to find it, or I went on the website and I couldn't find it. I'm going to make sure that you're able to find it. So they'll NACAC, National Association for College Admission Counseling, will be having a virtual college fair on September 13th. And then in October, there will be two from October 12th and October 18th, and then there will be one on November 8th. They plan to have over 600 colleges at these college fairs where there will be live Zoom sessions where you can go into separate Zoom rooms and meet with the colleges. You can learn about financial aid, about how to apply for college. Even if you want to set up a separate meeting with an admissions person, you'll be able to do that. So again, these are something that I strongly recommend that anyone that is college bound, that is thinking about college, take time to attend these college fairs or these conferences. Um, there's another conference that's coming up that I strongly that well, I keep saying I strongly suggest, but again, I really think this is a way to learn about colleges. So I actually had connected with the student that I worked with a couple of years ago through a program that helps students with writing their essays. And in the course of our discussion, she was telling me about the National Pre-Health Conference. So this is a conference that is designed for students that are looking at careers in the healthcare field. This will be on August 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Now, I was on their website earlier, and right now the registration is closed. However, people, this is our virtual world. All of the sessions will be live streamed on the organization's YouTube channel. So you'll still be able to get great information. So again, this is something that I really hope that people join in and do. Now, so we've got conferences, we've got college fairs. What else is it that you can do? So there are several websites that you can check out. So one of my favorites is called Campus Reel, and that's REEL. So Campus Reel is a site that students who are current students at a particular college have pre-recorded a series of videos about their school. So in these series of videos, you will learn about what it's like living in the residence hall. You might learn about student life. You might learn about the dining hall, about the academic offerings, about extracurricular activities. But the neat thing about them is that they're all set up by people who go to that school. So again, that's Campus Real, and again, that will also be in the show notes. So for people that are just joining in, if you have any questions, make sure you throw them into the chat box, into the comment box, so that I can answer any questions that you have or attempt to answer your questions. So this college conversations tonight is about different ways to learn about college, how to do college research during the time of COVID. Because again, as we said, we all know that what's going on in our world right now with our health crisis. So we just want to make sure that students are still finding opportunities to learn about these different colleges, and also different careers when they go to the National Pre-Health Conference. So next week, as a guest, I will have one of the social media co-chairs of the National Pre-Health Conference, Magda, who is a student at the University of Michigan, and she will be on to tell us all kinds of information about this particular conference. So again, that is definitely something that I think it's important for people to do. Now, you know me, we always have a book. Well, actually, before I do that, let me talk a little bit about some of the questions that some of my students have been asking, and I'm sure quite a few other students have been asking this. Students, one of the pieces of an application that is considered important and probably is becoming more important now due to the fact that testing is so difficult to do. Um, Personally, I just hope it goes away, but probably shouldn't say that out loud, but that's kind of how I'm thinking. Um, so right now, if any student that, a junior, senior that's been trying to get a seat at a test site, you know that that's been really difficult. It's hard to have a large number of students in one place in order to sit for, a 3.5 to 4 hour test. So tests are being canceled. Unfortunately, sometimes it's happening the night before, and people have traveled to different places in order to have the opportunity to take these tests. So what we're finding is that many colleges are going test optional. And that's a whole nother thing. I actually posted a great webinar by Adam Ingersoll of Compass Prep Education that talked a lot about um, what it means test optional in the time of COVID. So again, that's on my Facebook page, and I'll make sure I link that again so that you can see that in the show notes. So without the test, one of the things that may be becoming more important to colleges as they look at applications are extracurricular activities. Now, we know for all students, there are many extracurricular activities that you were not able to do due to, COVID-19. So many things were canceled. People had internships set up, they had summer jobs, they had different camps they may have been going to, and all of that got canceled. So what is it that you do with those opportunities that were canceled? Do you still talk about them on your application? So many of my colleagues have been discussing this, and there have been conversations about it. So I really think it's important that when you're filling out your application, that you do indicate that you did have these activities set up, especially if it was an activity that might have been competitive to get into, or it definitely shows your strong interest, the depth of your interest in some area. So again, I would go ahead and indicate that on your application. And one of the ways you could do that in the activity section where you list your activities. You could write something, about this activity would have taken place. And when you look at the format, you'll see how you'll be able to do that. Also, if it's really necessary in the additional information section, you might be able to put that information. So I'm working with my students on how to best represent opportunities that they did have for this summer, but that didn't happen because of COVID-19. So it's really important as you're sending in these applications to remember that every college evaluates an application differently. There is no standardized reading of college applications amongst the colleges across the United States. So one of the things it might be good to do is to go on a college's website and see what kind of information they have on there about how they evaluate their applications. This is a perfect time to make sure that you're taking advantage of these virtual college fairs and virtual conferences in order to connect with admission reps from various schools. This is a question you can ask them. How do you evaluate an application when you don't have test scores, or a student wasn't able to do their extracurricular activities that they had planned on doing, not only just in the summer, but, through the end of last school year, and also this upcoming fall? So again, that's a great question to ask the admissions person. So I really want people to take advantage of these college fairs, because you're going to be able to learn so much information. And the fact that you're not able to get on the campus and visit most of the schools, on many of the schools. This gives you a perfect opportunity to ask those kinds of questions. And it's important to remember that the people that are reading your applications, they're people. They're living through COVID. They're living through this time just like the rest of us. So again, make sure you keep that in mind as you're um, having those conversations. And some of the things they're looking for is, what is it that students were doing outside of the classroom? How invested were you in whatever you were doing outside of the classroom? Now, there are times when students have said to me in their senior year, "Oh, I'm going to start this club, and this is going to be the mission of the club and stuff." And when you look back at their history, there hasn't been any mention of that type of work that's going on in that club. There hasn't been, there's nowhere in their essay that talks about what they're doing. So they're really looking to see how invested were you in this particular activity. I mean, some students are in activities that they've been doing since junior high school or since middle school. So again, that's something that you want to pay attention to. Um, did it have an impact? Did it make a difference? So I know a student that I'm working with actually was working as a math tutor for students. And when that shut down at her school, what she was able to do is to take that tutoring process and create a website online as a way for students to still continue to get the help. So that's what colleges want to see. How did you take what was thrown at all of us and what did you do with it? What kind of impact did it have on students around you? What kind of impact did it have on your community? What kind of impact did it have on your school? What kind of impact did it have on your family, depending upon what it is that you were doing? And what kind of influence did it have? Did it make a difference in the life of people? Now, that doesn't mean everybody needs to be out there doing something that, as fabulous as that. Many of us have started gardens. Um, how would you talk about that? Are you taking the harvest from your garden and sharing it with neighbors? Are you sharing it with folks who can't make it out to the grocery store for various health reasons? Like, what are you doing? How are you using your time? Now, I know this is a tough time for everybody, and we're all trying to figure out how to live within this world of social distancing, physical distancing, not being able to see your friends, not being able to go to the movies, not being able to hang out. It is tough. It's tough. I mean, there are days that I'm like, whew, I don't know, where I feel like I'm crawling out of my skin because, we're all living through this. So one of the things I think it's important to think about is how will you be able to show the whoever's reading your application that maybe you used your time wisely or you did something with your time. And again, like I said, it doesn't have to be anything that's extraordinary, but just something that's of deep interest to you. How did you pivot in all of this? How did you show some grit and dig your heels in and figure out, okay, this is how it is for now. I don't see a end to this in the foreseeable future. So what did I do? How did I take this time to make a difference either for myself or for someone else? So again, that's what you want to think about. And again, for those that are just joining in or looking at the replay, this is College Conversations with Dr. B from Steps to the Future, and we're looking at ways that students can do college research during this time of COVID. You will see that things are changing all the time. This virus is really determining what's happening in the world of college admissions and the world of everything else. So again, we have to use all of these opportunities that are being presented to us to make sure that we take the time to find out about these schools. So again, those four college fairs, or three college fairs and one conference. So we got the Strive Virtual College Exploration, which is focusing on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, and that's from August 11th to August 13th. Then the New York State Association for College Admission Counseling. They are having a college fair on August 13th. So, again, both of those are this week. So, you need to be paying attention. And when I post those show notes tonight, you need to make sure that you click on those links and see what you need to do in order to be able to take part in those college fairs. And then NACAC, the National Association for College Admission Counseling, they are conducting 4 college fairs between September and November. So there will be one on September 13th, October 12th and 18th, and November 8th, again with over 600 colleges, and where you'll have an opportunity to talk to college reps and to learn more about their institutions. So definitely do that. And the last one is the National Pre-Health Conference, which is the week after, which is November 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And as I said, next week I will have the social media coach here for that organization on with me as a guest to talk about that. Now, you know that I can't stop, can't leave you without talking about books. Um, so how did I spend most of my time, this past summer? So just like everyone else, we had to figure out how to do whatever it is that we needed to do for professional development. So I was fortunate in that I was able to attend actually 3 conferences virtually. So I attended one conference that was put on by American University and their social justice, equity, and education organization, and I'm probably butchering that name and getting it wrong. But it was really good because we got an opportunity to learn about different issues in equity, especially for young girls, young Black girls in education today. Then I attended the American School Counselor Association conference, ASCA at Home. That was fabulous because what's so great about the virtual conferences is that they extend the time that you can go back and watch the sessions that you weren't able to watch during that time. And for anybody that's ever gone to a conference with multiple workshops, you know how there's always, oh my God, I didn't get to see that workshop and I really wanted to get to that one, but there are so many good ones that are meet at the same time and you don't always get that chance to see all of them. But this time, with ASCA, I was able to see quite a few of them. And because they're allowing us to see the recordings through October 2nd, I've been going back every day or every couple of days and looking at one that I missed that I had bookmarked to watch another time. And then the Independent Educational Consultants Association, IECA, also did their conference virtually. And again, you have the opportunity to go and look at all workshops afterwards. So actually, that ends this Saturday. So I've got quite a few things I still on my list to do. But getting back to my books, so I love it when I'm able to bring books to people, and because we're in a time right now where our social emotional learning and our feelings and what have you are kind of raw some days. These are some really powerful books that I think might be good for adults, and for young kids, middle school kids, high school kids, anyone to read and take advantage of. So this first one is called Permission to Feel, and it's unlocking the power of emotions to help our kids, ourselves, and our society thrive. And it's by Dr. Marc Brackett, who is the director of the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence. And he's also a professor in the Yale Child Study Center. He's also on the board of CASEL, which is the Collaborative for Social and Emotional Learning. This is this is a really good book. It does a really nice job of helping us understand that the mental well-being of children and adults is poor, and this is what we need to do or can do to make it better. So again, this is one of the books. So again, reading this. Oh, the other thing that he has, you can also hear Dr. Brackett being interviewed by Brene Brown. Brene Brown has a podcast called Unlocking Us, and he is one of her early guests, so you can go and hear him talk about this book. The other cool thing that he has that I signed up for is an app called the Mood Meter. The app costs, I think it's like 99 cents, but it's a great way to check in on how you're feeling, and it goes right along with this wonderful chart that he has in his book. So I don't know if you could see that, but he has this great chart in his book that allows you to think about how you're feeling that day. So again, Dr. Marc Brackett, this is his book, Permission to Feel. Definitely recommend that to folks. One of the folks that was at the IECA conference that spoke to people was Dr. Ben Bernstein. And his book is Crush Your Test Anxiety, How to Be Calm, Confident, and Focused on Any Test. And he has an evidence based way of showing and helping students learn how to de stress themselves during a time of a test. So, again, this is a great read. He also has quite a few things on his website. So, I will put information in the show notes so that you'll be able to connect. And again, that's Dr. Ben Bernstein. He's a performance coach, and his book is Crush Your Test Anxiety, How to Be Calm, Confident, and Focused on Any Test. So again, as I said, got to get those books in there. Now this last book, this is it says for kids, but I think it's a great book for any person of any age. You know, we're all in this COVID thing together, and we're all feeling some kind of way about our place in this world and our sense of belonging. And that's what this book is about. It's titled A Kid's Book About Belonging. And it's just so cool. So, what's inside of this book? So, this book tells us about belonging. It tackles what it's like when you feel like you belong to a group or family or team, and what it's like when you don't. It addresses what it feels like when you don't fit in or when others don't want you around. This book teaches kids how to belong to themselves and how that helps them belong anywhere. So again, I think this is a great book for people to share with their kids. And also, you know, I read it and I said, oh, this is has some good lessons in here for me also. So this is a kid's book about belonging, and it's by Kevin Carroll. And he has a series of books out that are all about helping kids, and his website is a kidsbookabout.com. But again, like I said, I will put that in the show notes so that we will have that information in there. So let me see if we have any comments. Let me just check. Oh, hey, Tim Finnegan, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in. I appreciate it. Yep. So Tim is letting us know that at his school, LaSalle Academy, which is in Providence, Rhode Island, that their August SAT was canceled. So again, that's what's happening. That's why so many schools are going test optional. So Heather, oh hi Heather, thank you so much for joining. So Heather, you said that's an awesome book. Which book is an awesome book? Is it the one about a kid's book about belonging, or one of the other books? So tell me which book it is. Which book do you consider awesome? And thank you so much for joining in and commenting on this book. Um, Whichever one it is, just let me know which one you were talking about, so I can make sure that people know. As I said, for me, books are life. And yesterday was National Book Lovers Day. So you know how I celebrated National Book Lovers Day. Besides reading books, I think I was like ordering a couple of other books. Oh, she said the one on test anxiety. So this one, Crush Your Test Anxiety. So this is a good book. Thank you, Heather, for endorsing this. That's really good. Um, it is. I find it so helpful, and just reading through it myself, so that when I'm talking with my students, I have some evidence-based practices that they can use. But it's even better if they read the book themselves and also go on Dr. Bernstein's website to find out about this. Oh, so Heather's saying she's referred it to clients prepping for testing. Thank you. Yes, that is so good. He, I'm pretty sure he probably has something on YouTube about it. I've just had the opportunity to see him at two conferences at the Independent Educational Consultants Conference, virtual conference that we had recently. And he also was a guest of Jed Appleroth, who is and owner of Appleroth, which is a test prep company. So he also was a guest and did a webinar for them and talked about this book. And it's so, and when he talks about it, it just makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. So I really want students to go into, whether it's one of these standardized testing, whether it's, a test that you're taking at school, any kind of a test. It just helps you think about your anxiety in a way that allows you to be more successful on the test. So again, um, folks, make sure you're paying attention to, when I put the show notes in this evening, make sure you like this and share it out with other people, because I think these resources are really important for folks to know about. Like I said, knowledge is power and reading is fundamental. And for those of you who in Cumberland County who don't know, you can still take out books from your Cumberland County Public Library system. You just go online, you put a hold on the book that you would like to get. Once that book is ready, they will send you an email or call you, whichever way you ask them to do it, and you can pick up your book at curbside. It is a great service. They are doing virtual storytelling for young kids. So again, make sure that you're using your library system. If you don't have a library card, if you go right on to the library's homepage, it tells you how to access a library card on there. So please make sure you're using your public libraries. And that's not just here in Cumberland County, that's nationwide. All libraries have learned how to do virtual services and what have you. So please make sure you're using them. Oh, okay. So Heather said the book was an easy read and she wished she had that book when she was taking the GRE. Yes. Oh my God, Heather, those GREs. Oh my God, I hated them so much. I was so glad when that was over, and I hope that I get through the rest of my life without ever having to take another standardized test, because they are not fun. So, this is Dr. B from Steps to the Future. We had a conversation about how to research colleges during the time of COVID. I shared 3 books with you that will also be in the show notes. And next week, I have as my guest the social media co-chair for the National Pre-Health Conference. That will be August 20th through the 22nd. So I definitely hope that people share that information with students, with families, and make sure that you use all of these resources so that you can make the best informed decision for you and your family. So I will see you next week. This is Dr. B from Steps to the Future. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and have a fantastic day.